Hi, good evening, everybody. I hope you are hearing me. Welcome to another session of, not yet? Okay, sorry. I was getting a bit carried away. Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Institute for Financial Literacy's Ask Me Anything or AMA Facebook Live. To those who have joined us, good evening to everybody. Tonight's AMA we're going to discuss the topic of digital tools in personal finance, as you can see on the slide. Before we start, allow me to quickly introduce the Institute for Financial Literacy. The Institute for Financial Literacy is a collaboration between MoneySense and the Singapore Polytechnic Enterprise. So we are an outreach arm for MoneySense. We bring the national financial program that MoneySense develops to the public through talks or through live sessions like these, right? Just before we go into the session itself, gentle disclaimer. This webinar or this evening session, we would be touching on topics. No, I'm not on mute. I can hear you. I'm not on mute, so I hope you can hear me. Okay. So let me just run through the disclaimer. If we should mention any companies, any reference or products, investment products along the way, please understand that this is used for illustration and to help us illustrate concepts and points, right? You should remember to consult your own licensed financial advisor before taking any investing or investment products on board. Okay. So with that, let's kick off a little bit. The topics on digital tools in personal finance. We all know how much digitization has become an integral part of our lives. So it's no surprising that we have digital tools as well to help us learn, manage, and better plan our finances. So let's take advantage of this. Let's look at what's out there. Tonight, we will find out one very useful and very important tool developed by MoneySense. So we will definitely get into that. So today we will cover the agenda that you see here to understand the tools to help us plan and manage our finances better, and how can we use these tools safely, right? Hopefully we will get questions along these lines, and to help you clarify your doubts as well. Before we get into these tools, before we go into the tools session itself, I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce a new portal recently launched by the IFL. It's called FinLearn. You see a screen grab of that on your device. FinLearn is unusual. Is very useful. It is it's a platform. It's a platform that connects the community of interested learners virtually for individuals to engage in self-learning, to interact with similarly like-minded individuals who share common interests, right? Topics like perhaps investing, giving children a sense of money, or even planning for retirement, or even topics around CPF and stuff like that. So FinLearn allows also people who participate in our seminars, in our talks like this, to take questions, to ask questions of the trainers, to have a more discussion with the trainers in a more in-depth way, right? A unique feature of FinLearn is enables users like you and I to join interest groups, okay, so that we can follow discussion threads and engage with each other on latest developments in topics of our interest. Users may also post questions, engage in discussions, participate in polls and quizzes. I understand there are events and games, and you can redeem rewards as your user activity increases, right? If all of this sounds good and you want to know how you can get on board, it's very easy. You can see you just need to sign up at the URL indicated, www.finlearn.sg. It's pretty easy and free of charge, so that's always good. So do check it out and be part of the FinLearn community. Okay. Now let's get going with tonight's AMA session itself. To begin this session, to kickstart the whole thing, we would like to run a poll, right? The poll would be on asking us whether we keep track of our assets and liabilities. The reason why we have this poll is to give some context to the tonight's session on digital tools. Okay, so the question again you see on the screen is to ask you, do you know how much assets and liabilities you have? Yes or no, right? So the poll will start in the background, and we will see what the outcome is. Okay. The reason why we talk about assets and liabilities, as you know, we all have obligations, but we also accumulate assets. So hopefully, we have more assets than liabilities, because that defines our financial health, right? So, so do participate in the poll so that we can get a good sense of how many of us know how to keep track of our assets and liabilities. Okay, I'm seeing some results coming in. Oh, interesting. Okay, 67% says yes, 33% said no. Well, it's good to hear the positive. So 2/3 of those polled know how much assets and liabilities they have, which is a good sign, right? 33% still don't know, or maybe they don't know how. This is where this evening's discussion will surely help, right? For those of us who know how to keep keep track of our assets and liabilities, I congratulate you. So you can hopefully look at some of the other tools that we have that we're going to discuss tonight, and see how you can improve on this particular aspect, right? At this juncture, I'd like to introduce my guest panelists. Tonight we have the pleasure of joining me, Ms. Chen Li from MoneySense. Thank you, Chen Li, for participating, joining in our session, our Facebook Live session, to take questions from our listeners. Before we went live, we already received some interesting questions, which we will address later through Slido, but priority will be given to participants posing live questions. So welcome, Chen Li, to our AMA session.
Hi, everyone. It's my pleasure to be on the panel tonight, and I look forward to answering any relevant questions relating to the topic today. Thank you.
Thank you, Chen Li. Before we go to the live Q&A, if you don't mind, I have a question myself, if it's okay with you. In many of our talks, in our workshops, we stress the importance to participants of planning their financial futures, their financial destinies. They're not leaving things to chance, right? And we know that when we when we're building our financial plan, we have to take cognizance of things like our cash flows, our monthly net cash flows. We also should take cognizance of our assets and liabilities, because it gives us a sense of net worth, right? I'm glad that the poll has 2/3 people who can keep track, but there are still some people who perhaps are in a little bit of a doubt as to how to keep track of their assets and liabilities. So, the question I want to pose is, given the fact that a lot of our financial information could be held across different financial institutions, even government agencies, are there any tools online that can help us gather all our personal financial data into maybe a consolidated form to give us a holistic view of our financial state of health?
Yeah, hi, Lawrence. Yeah, so
yes.
It is indeed this tool. In fact, one of the digital tools that we have recently released not long ago in December last year is MyMoneySense. MyMoneySense is a digital financial planning service by the government, and we are integrated with the Singapore Financial Data Exchange. We call it SGFinDex in short. This allows individuals to access their financial information from both the banking and also government sources easily. And to retrieve your financial information from the banks and also the government agencies, you can do it quite simply by logging into MyMoneySense with your SingPass, and also you can connect to your banks to SGFinDex by giving consent to retrieve your data.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe Lawrence, would you like to share some of the slides that we have?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
No worries.
So, okay.
Yeah, so just to recap what I just mentioned, there is this personal.
Sorry, it's going a bit too fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so thanks, Lawrence. So maybe we'll just go back a little bit to give everyone a better understanding of what we are mentioning about. So one of the digital tools that we have recently rolled out is MyMoneySense. This is a digital financial planning service by the government, and it is integrated with the Singapore Financial Data Exchange, which is SGFinDex in short. This allows individuals to easily access their financial information from both the banking and government sources. And to and to retrieve your financial information, you can just simply log into MyMoneySense with your SingPass, and you'll be able to easily then see automatically consolidated dashboard information, and also can get personalized guidance in the next slide. Yeah, to better understand both your financial health, how you are doing in terms of your health through your cash flow, wealth, and also protection elements, and also get some top recommended actions to help you better understand how you can actually improve your financial well-being. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So next, MyMoneySense is also quite simple to use. It is also very convenient given it's integrated with the SGFinDex and MyInfo. Next is that it is free and also neutral. We are actually not tied to any product offerings as a government, so you can actually quite easily make your own financial decisions with the information and the tools that we provide to you. And further to that, to protect your data and privacy, we implement the latest government security standards with the 2FA and also data encryption. So you can be rest assured that your data is well maintained and stored through the process of helping you to plan better for your finances.
Okay, that's actually, thank you, Chandy. Indeed, it's very useful and assuring to know that there is an independent platform, and also sounds as though there is, there is a quite strong security. I'm sure there could be some questions from our listeners tonight who may have this issue of safety of their information close to their hearts. Okay, so with that, let's go to the question itself. We are now ready to take or answer questions from participants tonight. So for those participating, you can either scan the QR code that you see on the screen to access Slido, and then you can give us your questions, or you can write a comment on Facebook, right? So I should pause here for a few seconds to give you time to scan your QR code, while my colleague will also bring up questions on Slido. Okay, we are getting some questions coming up. Okay, we will tackle the questions as they come up, and we will take those that focuses on is relevant to this evening's discussion, right? Okay, good. All right, the first question is, do I need insurance? Are there insurance tools to help me compare and decide on which life insurance products to buy? Well, this is quite pertinent. In our last AMA session, there was actually on a topic on insurance. This may have come up as well. Insurance is an important part of financial planning. Needless to say, therefore we should have insurance, especially when we have high dependency, people who depend on us. So life insurance is important. Are there any tools to help us compare? Indeed, there is a platform called Compare First. It is the website is www.comparefirst.sg. Compare First is unique in the sense that it's an independent portal. Is sponsored or sanctioned by the Life Insurance Association of Singapore, together with MES and MoneySense, as well as Consumer Association case. So as the name implies, is a place for you to compare life insurance. It's not a platform for you to purchase. It's unlike travel insurance, right? This one is for you to compare the features, understand the various types of life insurance, right? From term life to endowment, investment link, and all that stuff, and then help you to get some sense of shortlisting and perhaps how you can buy. There is a unique feature in Compare First, which is called DPI, Direct Purchase Insurance, where you can basically decide to buy without engaging a insurance agent. Okay, obviously that already gives you a hint that you will not pay you will not pay the commission for a financial advisor. But that to purchase under DPI, you have to be very clear as to exactly what you want to buy. You are confident of the features of the policy of the product itself, and you just have to engage at the offices or at the counter of that insurance company. There will not be an insurance agent to give you tailored advice, but you need to know exactly what you're buying. On the other hand, if you're not confident, you still have a lot of questions to ask about the features, you're not sure how to understand the benefits or the obligations, then consult a licensed insurance agent, a financial advisor, to help you navigate that. Okay, so do check out www.comparefirst to help you to decide on life insurance products. Okay, I hope that is the first question. The second question is, can you suggest some apps to help me track more on my expenses on my mobile phone? There are a lot of apps, especially I know of some apps which are tied to our e-commerce and shopping platforms, the ones that we all know who they are now, given the fact that we are working from home. I do take this with a pinch of salt, because sometimes a lot of them are linked to product pictures, so be very careful. I don't know about you, Chen Li, but do you have any apps that you use to track your expenses, or perhaps you can suggest something as well?
Yeah, so I myself, actually, I've been using MyMoneySense as well, because it allows me to quite easily know how my spending is on a month-to-month basis. It allows me to take a look at how my credit card bills from all the banks has been doing, and I can see quite easily across months, the past 4 months, how I'm doing, whether I'm saving enough or maybe I'm overspending. So I'll then review and make some adjustments along the way. Yeah, so it's been quite handy, because I can do it quite easily on my mobile phone. Yeah.
So it is based on your credit card expenses, right?
That's right. That's right. My credit card.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and also my savings account, so I can see how my savings is moving over the past 4 months as well.
Very good.
Yeah.
So do check out MyMoneySense platform to help you to integrate all your bank accounts, and then you can link even your credit cards held from different banks, right?
That's right. Yeah, from different banks. Yeah.
So there's a way to keep track of your expenses.
Quite easily for a month-to-month basis.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Good. The third question, next question. Do you think I should invest in digital gold? What should I look out for? Wow. Okay. Okay, let's talk about investing in gold. Is a very specific agenda, so you need to be very clear. Do you want to invest in gold per se? But digital gold, as far as I'm aware, it is not a regulated asset class yet. So you got to be very careful if you want to go down that path. Our advice to most of people who engage our talks is always to stick with investing in regulated products. I think you know why, because then if anything happen, there's always recourse to FIDRAC, or you can have a better accessibility to compensation and all that kind of stuff. So digital gold is new, but you should try to stick with something that is regulated. So we would actually recommend, perhaps you want to consider gold ETFs that is listed on the stock exchange here. You still have exposure to gold prices and the commodity, and it is actually a very established and regulated product, right? So I think you should take that into consideration. Okay. The next question, what's the difference between a financial advisor and a robo-advisor? Well, one is a live flesh and blood. The other one is really an algorithm based on artificial intelligence that is programmed by somebody to pursue a strategy, right? So a financial advisor would be able to really perhaps get to know you, know your objectives, know your fears and your risks. Whereas a robo-advisor, you are inputting your inputs to certain questions and certain preset template. It works if you are comfortable with that algorithm and that those parameters. I don't use it, so I don't have a good sense of how beneficial it is. But for some people, perhaps that is sufficient. But if you feel that you need somebody to really understand some of your fears in a more nuanced way, and also perhaps someone who follows you through different life stages, then having a financial advisor who you can trust obviously is will make a lot of difference, right? Any other, do you have any experience with that, Jenny?
Yeah, I personally have not tried the robo-advisor before as well, but I've seen quite a lot of recent advertisements out there about the benefits of it. Yeah, I think there are quite different experience between the two, like what you said. So I think the personal touch of a financial advisor still has its pros compared to a robo-advisor, but I guess the convenience of a robo-advisor is also something that people value.
Yeah. And then I guess people talk about the cost difference. So obviously there is a cost difference because when it's a little bit more automated, it does have a influence on cost. But again, it depends on your overriding objective in your investing. Are you sensitized to the couple of basis points difference in the cost, or are you looking for something a little bit more integrated, holistic, and more tailored? Right, that's what you said.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay. Next question. You talked about MyMoneySense. How safe is my data? If I am to sign up for it. Okay, so I guess this is your question, Chen-Li, about data integrity and safety.
Yeah, so I think this is definitely something on the top of everybody's mind when you want to try out a new service, especially when it's digital platform. So what I can share with everyone is that we do a lot of emphasis and place a lot of emphasis on data security and privacy. So we do secure all the data transmission and also the data storage with the securities technologies that's based on government standards. And it's all well and good, and your data is all encrypted. So no one can actually access, analyze, or even share it unless it's really required by the law. So you can be quite assured that the safety of your data is well managed by us.
Okay, yeah. So I think that's to me it's a comfort factor that this is using the same government integrity system that protects our data from our CPF to stuff like that. So I think there is a lot of comfort there. Okay. Good. Next question. Are there digital tools to help balance investment portfolios? Okay. I'm not a robo person like I mentioned, but I can imagine that a robo advisor who then links up to a robo investment fund or portfolio will have these tools built into their algorithm that balances portfolio, or in fact rebalances from time to time, driven by certain market forces or change in interest rates, for example, and stuff like that. So this will really be tied to the robo investing platforms, a unit trust that is really passive or driven or managed by an automated process. Yeah, I don't really use a lot of robo investing. Really, for me, a lot hands-on. So that's my experience. The next question, I saw a slide that there were some participating banks in MyMoneySense. or I say, if I do not bank with these banks, how can I make use of the features of MyMoneySense, I guess? So certainly, for those who don't, the participating banks are really the major retail banks now, right?
That's right. So the current participating banks today are mainly the 3 local banks, which I think everyone is very familiar with: DBS, OCBC, as well as UOB, and also HSBC, Maybank, Standard Chartered, as well as this HSBC as well. So if you are not any of the current users of these banks, you are actually also able to benefit from the features that we mentioned just now by accessing MyMoneySense. So to do so, by accessing MyMoneySense, you can actually pull your government records from our service, and also manually enter some of your personal financial data from the banks that you hold, not from the current participating banks. And if you would like to use any of the participating banks applications, you will need to establish a banking relationship with them first. Yeah.
Are they able to, I'm just wondering, upload certain things from their, let's say a bank statement from a bank which is not a participating bank? Can they do that? I'm not sure whether it works that way.
Today we are not able to support that yet.
Okay.
To allow the downloading and uploading of the documents.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's some security standards that
I
we also
guess
need
it
to
becomes
meet.
then it
That's right.
compromises your. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. So for now, not able to.
Okay. The big, let's take the next question. The big banks have their own digital financial planning tools. That's true. How are they different from MyMoneySense? For MoneySense, can I buy investment products from this app? Okay. How are they different?
Yeah, so actually, I would say each bank also have their own design, their interface approach, and also their value proposition. So for MyMoneySense, we position ourselves as a neutral platform, and we try to ensure that our financial guidance is quite objective, not tied to any product offerings that I think generally the banks may offer some of these products. So you can actually quite do your own decision based on your own assessment of what you think is best for yourself. So currently, we can't support any of the purchase of the investment products from MyMoneySense. And if you wish to buy investment products, I think it'll be best that you also understand the products you are buying before you purchase it.
Sure. Currently, I think MyMoneySense is still, or maybe something to come in future, where you will also integrate our data from CDP, for example, and even our insurance portfolio, may perhaps from non-bank insurance, right? That means, the Prudential or those people, those insurance companies which are not linked to a bank.
That's right.
Would that be something that we can look forward to in MyMoneySense?
Yeah. Indeed. Yeah, you bring up a very important point. I think some of the feedback we have also been receiving is that currently, because the data is more confined to the banks, somewhat is a little bit incomplete. So people are looking forward to the next few expansion of the data, which is like what you said, very important data items from the SGX or Central Depository, as well as those from the private insurers. Then, and we are indeed working closely with MAS, which is the Monetary Authority of Singapore, and also the Smart National Nation and Digital Government Group to ensure and onboard all these industry partners.
Yes, yeah. Then I think that would be a fantastic proposition, because then you have a huge overview. You have a really an independent overview of all your asset class, including your insurance, which then no single bank, their tool can be able to give you that overall picture, right?
Yeah, so as long as you're a participant of the Singapore Financial Data Exchange, you can also get access to the data, which means some of the banks that are already participating will have the access. Yeah, if they choose to continue to access this data for their applications.
Okay. But I hope my bank don't see my insurance, the insurance that I bought from, a non-bank competitor. So I'm hoping that they don't see that.
I see. Yeah. So if you have such concerns, then I guess MyMoneySense will work well for you because we kind of we will just objectively based on the data you have, give you the best advice possible.
Exactly. So that's why I say it's a good proposition. Because it will be neutral.
Right.
Okay, good. Next question. Is there a difference if I get insurance in Singapore or get it online from overseas insurance if it's much cheaper? A big difference. I presume if you say you're getting insurance in Singapore, it is from a Singapore registered and regulated insurer, right? If that's the case, then yeah, of course, there's a lot of difference because even if you're talking about an overseas insurer who is perhaps not registered or even regulated here, notwithstanding that it's cheaper, there are risks, right? I think you know where I'm alluding to, where you need to make a claim or some dispute or some whatever. So insurance here for insurers who are regulated and registered here, then you have a lot more leverage, or you have not a lot more recourse should there be any issues. We already mentioned earlier some platform for dispute resolution. So there is a lot of difference if you are talking about an insurer who is based here versus one which is based overseas, right? Notwithstanding that if it's cheaper or otherwise. So to me, that is the most important thing, because you need to make sure that in the event that you need to activate the insurance policy, the insurer is good for it, right? Okay. Next question. These digital tools that you're talking about use mobile tokens for authentication. I don't feel comfortable. What if I lose my phone or it is stolen? Okay, so I think this is a little, yeah, it can apply to MyMoneySense or also perhaps your banking apps as well. So does MyMoneySense have MyMoneySense uses SingPass, right? Yeah, and you can actually use SingPass to it's not really a token, right? If I understand.
Yeah, you are right. So because it's a SingPass is our main current infrastructure that we tap on to
Yeah.
authenticate the different
Yeah.
access rights and all. It is quite, I think, secured currently.
Yeah.
And if you lose your phone, there are also current approaches to actually allow you to deactivate the apps and also ensure that all these are disabled so that you will
Yeah.
not be worried about the matters. Yeah.
Correct. So you can deactivate your app, or you can, without a phone, you can still log in SingPass using your usual traditional
That's right. Yeah.
ID
Traditional desktops. Yeah.
desktop ID password kind of stuff, right?
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. I'm also worried about my elderly parents. Yes, indeed. A lot of things are now online. How can we help them with this? Yeah, I think that's a very good question, Cheng Li. How do we make you know, my money sense and the features a lot more accessible to perhaps more elderly folks who are not so used to using digital tools on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, this is a very good question. So I think as we move towards more and more digitalization, not just in Singapore but everywhere else, and technology is getting more and more prevalent. I think it's an area that I think more efforts through the government we have been trying to roll out to help elderlies as well as senior citizens to better understand how they can actually get on this bandwagon of
Yes.
being technology savvy. So in
Yes.
fact, there are actually various websites today like SkillsFuture, the People's Association, and also the National Silver Academy. They do conduct courses for seniors. And I think, if I'm not wrong, the Infocom Media Development Authority also does conduct digital skills courses for seniors,
Yes.
which I think everyone with parents who are elderly may wish to consider tapping on all these digital courses. They can then start to learn and better interact with you. Maybe talk about some new digital tools together in the future.
Absolutely. Yeah, and introduce a way of helping them organize. Maybe they also need to consolidate and get a better view of their bank accounts across different banks. Probably make things easier as well.
True.
Okay, very good. So do check this out to support our silver generation, our seniors. Next question. Are there opportunities to invest in digital financial assets in Singapore in a regulated form? Okay, I'm not sure whether this is okay, I guess you are not so much digital tools you're looking at, not today's topic on digital tools, but you're looking at opportunities to invest in digital financial assets. We all have, I think, inundated with the likes of cryptocurrencies going up in the news in recent times. There are opportunities to invest in these. There are opportunities to invest this. Just now we took a question on digital gold as well, and I also understand there are offerings of digital real estate as well. So there is no shortage of such digital financial assets in Singapore, and the only difference is like what you say. Your question is whether in a regulated form, right? I think the regulated ones, you have to turn to regulated exchange, which is stock exchange, or if you go over the counter with a bank, OTC, in other words, it's not a listed product, make sure you deal with the usual suspects in town, the big banks, the proper names, right? If you're going to deal with a broker or somebody from a company XYZ, check whether the company is regulated, whether the representative is regulated, and how do you do so? You can find it from MAS website, right? Register of representatives, as well as the financial directory of mas.gov.sg. So do you want to stick with these regulated entities, so that if these entities offer digital assets, then at least you have some comfort that these guys are they are regulated, their representatives are licensed, right? Then you have certain backing in the event of any issues. Okay, so there are many opportunities to invest in digital financial assets. In a regulated form, typically comes from some banks. Some banks I know who offer it as to their private banking customers. So you deal with them, then you are relying on the fact that these entities are regulated. Okay, so there are opportunities. So make sure you check out. You want to know whether the entities you deal with, check out. Go to mas.gov.sg to validate the counterparties that you're dealing with. All right. The next question, I read about various malicious and fraudulent attempts to steal personal financial information online. Any advice on how to use online tools safely? Well, go to MyMoneySense. The app is safe. So that is one area. So stick to robust and well-defined and well set up platforms, right? So be very careful as usual. This is a scam kind of question as well. You know, we all talk about be careful with your personal information, how you share your information, and not to share your OTPs and all that stuff. So be very careful when you use any online platforms. Make sure that they are from genuine sources. They have robust way of authentication, which is making sure that you are the one who input the information, and they do not ask you to send the information back to them, and your OTP or stuff like that back to them, right? So just make sure that you have some of these checks in place. Okay. Remember, again, we always stress to our audience in our scam talks is that government authorities, the government agencies, and even banks will never ask you for your personal data, because they have your personal data, right? They will not be asking you for your bank account number and your ID or stuff like that. So be alert, and if any platform starts asking you for this information, press the pause button and at least do some get a different perspective. Perhaps you want to call up and to check whether these entities are really who they say they are. Okay. All right. The next question. I have consented for my data in bank A and B to be shared through SGFinDex. Does it mean all other banks will now automatically have my data? Maybe Chendi, you can
maybe I'll take this question. Yep. So to everyone, I think it's a very common question that quite a lot of people have also asked us. So the answer should be that if you have consented for your data to be shared, it doesn't mean no. So all other banks will not now automatically have your data. In order for a participating financial planning website or application to have your data, you always need to give your consent every time you retrieve your data after you log into the application or the website. And data will only be retrieved upon your instruction to do so, even if you have previously authorized your banks and government agencies to release your data through SGFinDex. So no matter what you do, always your consent is required, and you will never be automatically shared just without your consent. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's comforting to know. You will be proactively ask for your consent before information gets shared, right? So that's good to know. Good. Next question, does MyMoneySense provide market price link to update information on securities in order to update my investment portfolio? I think we talked about the investment part as well.
Yeah.
So something that will come with eventual, I don't know whether they will provide a market price link, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, so actually, unfortunately, today at the moment, we haven't linked up with a market price provider, but we are indeed working very closely with one potential provider.
Okay.
And so in future, the market price will be automatically generated for you to enable the auto computation of your market value of your investment portfolio. Come the time when the SGX comes on board, we will also be already have the information through the data that has been agreed upon and will be shared as well.
Through
So
SGX,
if you,
right?
through SGX, because they are the main source provider as well.
Yes, that's right. You get all the price updates. That will be good. Then it becomes an active portfolio that people can see their assets mark to market as well.
That's right. That's right.
All right, great. Next question. Are there apps that I can download to help me filter spam calls and text messages? Oh, indeed, there is. Let me just it's called Scam Shield. Okay. I don't know whether you guys have seen it, but this is Scam Shield. It's called Scam Shield, one word. That you can filter calls as well as SMS and I think MMS as well. So you can do the setting. Is I think it's created by Singapore Police, if I'm not mistaken, SPF. So do check it out. Scam Shield again. I've been using. It's quite useful. So if you do get a call and it's one of those automated calls that tells you got some parcel stuck somewhere or something like that, you can send the phone number back to Scam Shield and they will keep updating their registry of such numbers, and those numbers that are already in their registry, once you have Scam Shield on your phone, it will block those calls, right? And as well as text messages. So it's quite useful, both as a filter as well as a platform for you to report back if some of these numbers, because these scammers spoof the numbers all the time. Many of these numbers are actually overseas numbers, but they spoof it with a +65 or something like that. Okay, so do check out Scam Shield. Next question. My info data is shared with banks too. The banks don't need some of these personal info. Can I choose not to share? I guess this question, actually, they're asking is, can they pick and choose what information the banks need to know?
Yeah, indeed. You're right. So today, I think for a start, there isn't such an ability for you to do the pick and choose. Like you only want certain data, but you don't want others for the banks to see. So for a start, all the data that you have from the connected banks and also MyInfo will be retrieved when you request for a retrieval of the data using a bank's financial planning application or website. So this is mainly to be able to provide you with a consolidated overview of your personal financial health, and without some of the information, then it may be a bit incomplete. But nonetheless, if you are not so comfortable with the confidentiality vis-a-vis a particular bank, you can always consider using MyMoneySense, which is quite a neutral party, and you can be assured on and can choose on MyMoneySense whether you want to just pull the government data without the bank's data as well. We have that option available.
Okay, so that's also useful. So you can choose some, you can have some level
Yeah, some level. Yeah,
of customization.
that's right. Between the government and the bank's data.
The
That's
bank,
right.
yeah. Okay, so maybe we may not want the bank to see certain like CPF or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's only for my MyMoneySense. For the banks
Yeah,
one, they
yeah.
take in a wholesale.
They take in wholesale. I know the banks
Yeah,
take everything in.
that's right.
Okay. Okay. So the next question is sort of related. What are the banking and government data that can be retrieved from SGFinDex, and how frequently are these data updated? So I think that's interesting. How frequently are they updated? Will I be notified when these updates occur, right?
Yes, that's indeed a good question. So
Mm-hmm.
just to give some context to everybody here, currently for a start, the banking data and government data that we retrieve includes from the banks, information on your current and savings account, your fixed deposits, your joint account information, as well as your unit trust. And also you will see your credit cards information and also loans information. So these are the main data items from the banks for a start. And particularly from the local banks, you will also be able to retrieve your SRS or your CPFIS cash balance and investments if you do invest in them. And in terms of the government side, we have some data items from the CPF today, which is one of the key ones is your CPF account balances, your OA, MA, and also your SA balances. And also from the HDB, how much you currently have if you have a HDB, what's your outstanding loan balance, what's your current loan installment amount, and lastly from IRAS, your yearly accessible income. So all these are the data that is currently available for retrieval. And currently the banking data is updated on a monthly basis. So every month you can come in from the first day of the month, you can come in to really see what is your latest records. And for the government data, which is your CPF and HDB data, they are updated more frequently. Each time you retrieve your data, it will be updated as per the day that you update it. Yeah.
Okay.
And for your notice of assessment, because it's usually assessed on a yearly basis, so you only see your last year's records, or when you whenever you file your tax and you got your notice of assessment. Yeah. So
But I
these are
think
the
the banking data is quite updated, because the moment your bank account moves, see that being updated as well, right?
Yeah, so for a start, we are doing on a monthly basis. So mainly it's a
Okay.
statement month end or your
Okay.
last day of your month
Okay.
balances. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but in between months, you don't, it's not updated in between the month.
In between the months, no. So if you would like to
Okay.
see more live data, you may still need to access your
bank,
current
your bank.
bank's information.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the monthly data for a start is probably quite sufficient for your financial planning. Because
That's
mostly you
true.
want to see your overall
That's
trends
true.
and
That's
yeah.
true. Yeah. For planning purposes, you want to you don't need it to be on a day-to-day basis. Okay.
That's right.
Good. Are there any easy to use online tools to help me measure my financial fitness level? Well, we were talking about MyMoneySense, so this is the perfect tool to give yourself a sense of your overall assets versus liabilities. What is your net worth? That is a function. That is a basic test of financial fitness. Knowing that your net worth is XYZ. That's one. There are other tools that help you perhaps manage a little bit more of your day-to-day cash flows. But I think if you're looking at financial fitness from perspective of net worth, my MoneySense gives you the good picture. Tracking your expenses to make sure that you don't spend more than what you earn, and also to have sufficient savings growth, right? Those are ways to help you to build up your financial fitness level, right? So do use MyMoneySense is definitely what we are here to talk about. So do check it out.
Yeah, maybe
Next
to add
question.
on a
Yeah,
little bit to
sure.
Lauren's response as well. So on the MoneySense website, if you also want to do a quick 5-minute check about how you're doing, you can also consider trying out the financial health check questionnaire. It's also
Okay.
quite easily available on the MoneySense website today. Yeah, it
Mm.
only takes about 3 to 5 minutes, so you can just get a broad sense of how you are doing, to know how your fitness is doing, and you may then go more targeted into specific areas as well.
Yes, absolutely. The health check feature. Okay. All right. I think I'm being prompted that the next question will have to be the last question. I think this one is on Robo-Advisors. Some robo-advisors tout higher interest cash management solutions. Sure. Are these safe as bank deposits? Do they benefit from deposit insurance? Okay, these advisors, they are not banks per se, so you will not benefit from the insurance that the banks participate to insure your deposits up to 75,000 per Sing dollar account. So no, the answer is they will not benefit from deposit insurance because these robo advisors, they are not banks. They have to open a bank account themselves, right? To receive your cash. They are touting higher interest because they are perhaps putting your funds into some short-term instruments, money market funds, etc. So there is a little bit of risk there, but then you get potentially higher returns, right? So this is the issue here. Okay. All right. Thanks for. I think that's all the quiet time we have for questions. We will head back to the slide. I will reshare the slide. Okay. So we have just about a little bit time left to share a freshly minted or released video by MyMoneySense to summarize what we have talked about this evening. So I think this is a good wrap up of the features of MyMoneySense, after which Chen Li, maybe you may wish to make a couple of comments. Okay, so I'll just play the video.
Introducing a free government digital service to help you consolidate, plan, and learn about your finances, so you can manage your money and achieve your goals with confidence. MyMoneySense. Getting started is simple and secure with the latest government security standards in place. MyMoneySense uses SGFinDex to automatically consolidate your data from various sources. Simply connect to your preferred sources, give consent to retrieve your data, and we'll do the rest. What you get next are financial insights and a consolidated financial overview, all in one place. This includes personalized recommended actions and objective indicators of your financial health, all to help improve your finances and plan ahead. Start taking charge of your finances. Up your money game with MyMoneySense today.
All right, very good video. So
introducing.
Sorry, let's go to the next slide. So Chen Li, you wish to make any remarks here?
Yeah, so thank you so much everyone for joining us tonight, and I hope you can give it a try on MyMoneySense by scanning the QR code indicated here, or you can just easily key in the www.mymoneysense.gov.sg in your web browser to start consolidating and also planning and learning about your finances today.
Okay, I think it's really a very useful platform because, like I said, I mean, I'm getting to know it myself as well, and I find that the fact that it can firstly consolidate gives me a holistic view, and then with very snazzy graphics there to give you a good sense of your net worth as well as your expenses, and looking forward really to the future features, future iterations of this where you will incorporate your investment portfolio and even potentially your insurance portfolios, right?
Thank you so much. Yeah.
So thank you for joining us, Chen Li, in tonight's session. Hope to hear more updates from MyMoneySense soon. Okay, if anyone has any further questions, if you wish to, not just on this topic, but like I mentioned, keep up to date with other topics of interest, do email us your questions or post them for the community threads to discuss at finlearn.sg, which is shown on screen. So this is where we will be able to continue in our learning journey, right? Okay, before we close, we would like to get your feedback. So thank you for participating in our sessions. We'd like to get your feedback, which you can actually do through scanning the QR code you see on the screen at the bottom right. as well as to give you a heads up of our next AMA session, which will be on personal investing. What should you look out for, right? This will be on the 21st of July on Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. We'll be talking about some overview on things you should look out for, how you should get started if you want to invest, what are the differences between various asset classes, bonds versus shares, unit trusts, what are are insurance products, for example, considered as investment, or is it insurance, or are REITs considered fixed income, things like that, questions like that we will hope to answer during this upcoming session, right? So do take a note of the date, 21st July on Wednesday. So again, thank you for joining us today. We hope to receive your feedback. It's important for us to know where we can improve and what we've been doing well as well. Okay, so with that, we will close today's session and hope to see you guys again. Thank you, Chen Li, for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.